Today on America's Court with Judge Ross.
You've been a teacher?
Yes.
You're in Boss Ross's classroom right now.
All right. Am I about to get schooled?
Ooh. Cop a squat. In a minute, I'm gonna put a dunce cap on you. In my courtroom, it's about equity and fairness. Stop. Is that true? I don't want you to understand. I want you to overstand.
Yes, sir.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. Justice should be more than just some foreign concept. I actually want you to learn something. That's not gonna happen. Not up in here, not today. And boom goes the dynamite.
Fair, firm, compassionate. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. Reginald Stennis claims his winter trip was ruined after he was injured by a snowboarder and says she needs to pay up.
All rise. Remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Kevin Ross presiding.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may be seated.
Mr. Stennis is suing Marsha Reynolds in the amount of $2,400. Ms. Reynolds is countersuing for $20.
All parties have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Thomas. So we have a collision on the slopes. Mr. Stennis, you're suing for $2,400. Ms. Reynolds, you're countersuing for $20.
I am.
You are. You are saying you're entitled to $20. Let me start with the bigger amount.
Entitled is right.
Talk to me, Mr. Stennis. What happened?
Well, I was on a recent trip to Lake Tahoe. I'm recently retired and have
From what type of work, sir?
I was a high school baseball coach.
Okay.
For 20 years.
So
and
you have some physicality when it comes to
I would say that I'm a really solid athlete and thought I'd give snowboarding a try.
Were you out there snowboarding by yourself?
Yes, it was.
Okay. And Ms. Reynolds was also out on the slopes.
I was.
And do you ski or snowboard or both?
I do. My girls and I go to Lake Tahoe every year.
Your girls as in your
My
daughters?
twin girls, yes.
Okay.
My daughters.
Sometimes
and it was spring break.
It's been my experience that younger people are able to maneuver with snowboarding a little bit more.
It's so
do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Who qualifies that statement, though?
You don't get to ask the questions up in here. I've never snowboarded before,
Okay.
but yet whenever I'm on the slopes, most of the time the beginners, especially on the bunny slopes, it's tough.
It is.
And were you on the bunny slope?
Yes,
Yes, you were. And were you on the bunny slope?
Yeah, I was on the beginner hill. I was on the beginner hill, yes.
And so we're both
I think
on
it was
the
called
bunny
a
slope.
It was
Yes.
called a beginner hill, not a bunny
You can't
slope.
hear my question if you're talking. Were the both of you on the slopes at the same time?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
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 Okay. Did you know Miss Reynolds?
No, never met her in my entire life.
Do you recall being on the ski lift to get you up to the higher portion of the bunny lift?
No, the first time I had any interaction or any type of recognition of Miss Reynolds is seeing her and her daughters being yelled at by the ski instructor because they were wildly all over the beginner hill and the ski instructor telling them, from what I could see, to calm down because they were just kind of zipping and speeding all over the place.
I could see, and are you saying that you were on the lift and looking down?
No,
and
I was on
this?
the hill,
You were on the
beginner hill, yes.
And there was an instructor
Yes.
having some sort of conversation pertaining
Yes.
to
Yeah,
Miss
he was
Reynolds.
yelling at them.
Yes.
I could hear yelling.
Yelling.
Yeah, no. Your
No.
Honor,
Yes.
yes.
No.
We know Pierre, he is the instructor because we've been going there
come on.
all the time, like every year.
You've gotta be kidding
we love
me.
Pierre and we were just having a great time with him.
And what
so
was
he
Pierre
wasn't
saying?
yelling.
What was he saying?
He was saying, hey guys, you got it, keep going.
No,
Go for it.
Hold on a moment.
Yeah.
It really does not matter what the conversation was with Pierre, but you both agree that there was a conversation with the ski instructor. Or
Yes.
the snowboard instructor.
Yes.
Okay. And you interpreted one thing and you interpreted something else in
Yes.
terms of you have had a relationship with this instructor. This was not your first interaction with
Correct.
him. Okay. Was this your first interaction with this particular instructor?
I had no interaction with that
Okay,
instructor.
but then, so you don't know what the relationship was between Miss Reynolds and the instructor?
I would
But
tell
you just noticed that there was some sort of exchange.
In the
there.
interpretation, there was no, oh, hey, friend type of interaction.
But you don't know to what extent the conversations were ongoing.
I was a teacher for 20 years. I can interpret in relationships and the way people
What I
interact.
just said. Meaning that before, if they had a relationship with this person, that's different than some stranger saying, hey, what are you all doing on the slopes?
That's the way it
because,
looked.
Well, but you just heard her say that she already knew the person, that she knew them by name.
Here's the problem.
Sir, we're not going back and forth.
The problem is
You're a teacher,
entitlement.
right?
Entitlement.
You've been a teacher?
Yes.
You're in Boss Ross's classroom right now.
All right. Am I about to get schooled?
Ooh. Oh. Have several seats. Cop a squat. In a minute, I'm going to put a dunce cap on you.
Coming up on America's Court.
Tell me what you said to him.
I said, hey, are you okay?
And why did you ask him, was he okay?
Because I was already up on my feet.
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Reginald Stennis, who is suing Marsha Reynolds for medical expenses.
Now, if I can continue, because there's nothing like an unruly student. You and your daughters had this relationship with Pierre. Were you all having just a good time and maybe
Yes.
perhaps being a little rambunctious?
Perhaps.
So
yes.
that's a yes.
Lake Tahoe is my happy place.
I understand.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
At some point, you and Mr. Stennis collide.
We did.
Were you injured as a result of the two of you colliding?
No, Your Honor.
Were the girls
No,
injured
they
at
were
all?
already, they took off.
Got
They
it.
were already down the hill.
Okay. When you collided with Mr. Stennis,
Yes.
tell me what you recall saying to him.
Oh, well, initially, he was coming diagonal.
I didn't ask you that.
Okay.
I said, tell me what you said to him.
I said, hey, are you okay?
And why did you ask him, was he okay?
Because I was already up on my feet and he was still down on the ground.
At some point, you were on the ground
Yes,
as a result of the interaction with Mr. Stennis.
correct.
You got up quicker,
I did.
and then you said, hey, are you okay?
Yes.
And then what do you recall him saying?
He was very grumpy
Okay.
initially, but then he kind of laughed it off and said, yeah, I'm okay. And, well,
Okay, got it. And did it look as if he was in any sort of pain or discomfort?
no.
No.
Just grumpy.
Just grumpy.
Yeah.
But you don't know him, so you don't know if he was grumpy because of the situation or if he just has that sort of persona.
Right.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay. You end up seeing Mr. Stennis at some later point.
Yes, in the lounge.
All right.
Yeah, at the bar.
I'm going to give Mr. Stennis an opportunity to come back. Step forward, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
And let's try this again.
Yes, sir.
You end up recalling at some point colliding with Miss Reynolds.
I remember her colliding with me, yes.
That's fine.
Yes.
Let's assume that was what happened. Did you feel you were severely injured at that moment?
Yes, my ankle was twisted. That's what happened. She
Nope.
She
Just
came
tell
at
me
me at a
about the
high rate of
ankle.
speed.
Just tell me about the ankle. Your ankle was twisted.
Yes.
You ended up having to get some sort of medical attention and
Yes.
care.
At the end of the day, I went down. I saw the medic at the local little clinic they had. So it was a little medical clinic they had on site. Went and saw the medic. Said my ankle was sprained, and to follow up with my primary doctor.
They told you that.
Yes.
And when you followed up with your primary doctor, what happened?
When I followed up with my primary doctor on Monday, because I got back in town on Monday.
Okay.
And that was on
This happened on?
Saturday.
Okay. What took place on Sunday?
Sunday, I just hung out. I didn't do anything.
You didn't. You just said,
I just kind of chilled. Yeah, because
And
my
Monday you
ankle was
left.
swollen.
You came back home.
Yes.
What was
Sunday I left. I had to drive home, obviously. Yeah.
And what was the condition of your ankle on Monday?
Monday it was purple and blue, just like it was Sunday morning when I woke up.
All right. You go see your primary
My
care
primary
physician.
doctor.
Yes.
He puts me in for X-rays. It's got a sprain, but there's also a tear in my knee.
Oh.
Yeah, it was there was
And
a
is
little
that
bit
where
of.
this dollar amount comes from? $2,400?
Yes.
Show me.
So yes, absolutely.
You sustained 0 injuries.
Correct.
Because she hit me. I didn't
That
do
is
anything.
not true.
Well, that's the issue.
I never touched her.
That is not true.
That's the issue. Both of you fell are on the ground.
Yeah.
So you both fell.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
we're just trying to establish who caused the other person to fall. In your case, the fall resulted in injuries.
But if I
Yes.
may, Your
Ma'am?
Honor.
No, you may not. 241306. You're suing for $2,400. Did you just round that down? Is that what you did?
Well,
Where's the $2,400 come from? You're suing for $2,400. You're suing for $2,400, but this totals $2,413.06. So you were like, I don't need the $13.06.
I don't need to be
just pay me
petty.
the $2,400.
Yeah, I don't need to
Just
be
want to
petty.
make sure I'm understanding what's
Yeah.
going on here.
I don't need to sue
And
for a $20
You
drink.
didn't have any sort of coverage that would just require a deductible?
No, I just retired, and I couldn't afford Cobra.
Okay.
Your Honor, I lost my wife about a year ago.
I'm sorry to hear this.
And with the medical bills from her cancer, I just don't, it was time to retire. And, one of the things with going to Tahoe and snowboarding, it was one of those kind of like trying to boost my ego. I was trying to get back into things. It was that or freaking pickleball. And I don't play pickleball. I'm an athlete.
Coming up on America's Court.
I'm plus 50 now. I'm retired. Pickleball or snowboarding, what sounds cooler? Pickleball sucks for a guy my age, right? I played football, baseball, and basketball.
Easy on the pickleball.
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Reginald Stennis, who is suing Marsha Reynolds for medical expenses.
I see you now. You were acting like a jerk before. But as you're talking now and you've calmed down, I'm like, okay, I get it. You ended up seeing Miss Reynolds later.
Yeah, I did.
Let's talk about that.
I'll admit it. I was feeling a little bit down. Ego was crushed a little bit.
Okay.
I'm plus 50 now. I'm retired. And, pickleball or snowboarding, what sounds cooler? Pickleball sucks for my guy my age, right? I played football, baseball, and basketball.
Easy on the pickleball. We got people watching saying, well, hey, don't
Sorry,
hate on the
y'all,
pickleball.
I don't mean to offend anybody that plays pickleball.
Well, you're offending Deputy Thomas, so now you're getting ready to be
My
a hot
man,
water
my
again.
man, hey,
We're
listen.
not here to talk about pickleball.
Okay,
We're here to talk
anyway,
about
so,
you
my
and-
ego
Tell you what, let me
was
help you out.
smashed.
You end up saying...
Can I say what happened?
No.
Or no? Okay.
You end
I
up
lost
seeing
my
him
chance.
after,
I did.
and tell me about that.
Okay. I actually saw him after our encounter, and I yelled to him, hey, take a load off. Come and have a drink.
Why is stalking
I'll
me
buy you
okay?
a drink.
Now you're interrupting her.
Yes, sir.
So I went up to the bar, and then, after a while, he came up and he did join me.
For a drink.
He did.
Okay.
Yes.
After you have this drink with him.
Yes.
Is that what the $20 was?
Yes.
So now you want me to
because-
pay for the drink that you paid
Yes,
for?
because I'm sad that he's a crabby crabapple. But I tried.
What is this?
I tried to help and reach out
Insults
to him.
and stalking.
You are insulting him. And I'm telling him to be quiet, but you are throwing your jabs in. I get it.
Coming up on America's Court.
In this collision, she kind of lives up to her name, Miss Reynolds, and she hits me and kind of wraps around me and knocks me down.
Are you trying to be clever?
This is America's Court with Judge Ross. America's Court is back with the case of Reginald Stennis, who who is suing Marsha Reynolds for medical expenses.
Why should I conclude that Miss Reynolds is at fault?
She was not moving at the same speed as I was.
She was moving faster or slower?
Way faster, because I've been going down the field. I've been down.
Teacher.
The equation is I've been on the hill longer than she had.
So
before
is she
hers.
behind you?
Yes, she hit me in the back.
Okay.
And pushes me ankle twist.
Were you behind him?
I was going down the hill, and he came behind me diagonally.
I did.
And we have
The goal
a
is to
diagram.
go this way.
Exactly.
That's not how I saw it.
Exactly.
So do we have some sort of diagram or some picture that I can
I've got
get a
it.
sense? You have that?
I've got it, Judge.
Show me.
Yes.
Show me. Okay, and let's take a look at this on the plasma. So you wrote D for Miss Reynolds as the defendant. You're the plaintiff.
Yeah. Yes. So as you'll see, she's behind me being in front of her. In this collision, she kind of lives up to her name, Miss Reynolds, and she hits me and kind of wraps around me and knocks me down.
Are you trying to be clever? Reynolds rap?
Hey,
I got it. You had skied before. You had never been skiing, period, or snowboarding.
It'd been years since I went skiing.
Okay, but you had been skiing but not snowboarding.
Correct. This was the beginner hill, and it happens. I mean, we're trying to do our
Here's
best.
the problem. The person that is uphill must give the right-of-way to the skier that's in front of them. Why? Because the person that's further up can see the person in front of them versus the person who is lower. They can't see what's going on behind them because their focus is straight down.
Judge Ross's verdict when America's Court returns. This is America's Court with Judge Ross.
Neither one of you are proficient with snowboarding.
Correct.
You, however, hadn't even skied.
She skis. I mean, it even goes with the $20 drink, though. That's not the conversation.
Why are you suing them for $20, by the way?
Just to get the money back for the drink.
Didn't you offer to buy him a drink? So
I-
that was a gift. So we already know what's happening with your counterclaim. That's just being small fries. All right, based on the evidence and the testimony before this court, the gavel is going to come down in favor of the defendant. I've got someone who at least has been skiing and goes there regularly. I've got someone else who has not snowboarded at all and hadn't skied in years. Someone who is at least a skier regularly that goes to Lake Tahoe would know to go straight down. Someone who's snowboarding for the first time and hasn't been skiing in years would want to go downward, but the likelihood is they would be more inclined to go diagonal. And if that's the person that's going diagonal, then that has to be the person that was further up. The person further up must concede the right-of-way to the person further down. So, based on that, sir, you cannot sustain your burden. Your matter's dismissed. Case closed.
All rise.
Judge Ross has ruled both claims have been dismissed.
I'm very happy that the judge ruled in my favor.
Well, Miss Reynolds, it looks like you got away with another entitlement like you like to live.
Okay.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.